Greetings everyone, my name is Etterville, and welcome back to my Let's Play of Starward Rogue with the Augmented expansion. During the last part, I cleared floors 4 through 5, and was able to defeat the Warden encounter, though with great difficulty. I almost died. I should have switched over my Phantom Blade for the Warhog shotgun earlier, because the problem with the Phantom Blade is that you need to be at melee range in order to deal the most amount of damage. And against bosses with a large number of projectiles and you can't really stun them with the Paladin's power shield, that can be a huge problem. That's why for the Terminus encounter later on in this part, I decided to switch over to the Warhog shotgun. Although if I can find a longer range weapon, I'll probably switch over to that one as well. Because short range weapons aren't the best against Terminus and Warden. Especially Terminus, having long range weapons for that one is the best option. At the very least, I got a second shield, so that'll be useful. And we have a super big floor to go through. First I want to go for the cheap item shop, then the defensive shop, then take a look at the robotics shop, then I'll circle back down over here and figure out what the major item storage is, then I'll fight the mini-boss, then the boss fight. But before I begin, I'd like to thank Arcen Games for giving me not only a key for the base game, but for the expansion as well. It's not the best top-down shmup, but it's a fun one, nonetheless. Of course, because I've stated as much as I could about the Paladin mech itself, I'll be mostly silent throughout this part until I reach one of the really difficult rooms, or one of the shops, one of the mini-boss encounters, or one of the condemned rooms. Although I think I'll skip the condemned chamber because I really don't want to die. Now we'll be able to see how the elemental robots act like. I would like to get the corrosive drone, but it'll take some time. Being able to knock back enemies that get too close will be also pretty useful, especially with some of the ambushers. I'm also learning throughout this floor that the Warhog shotgun isn't what it's cracked up to be at this floor, especially without several damage upgrades buffing it up. It's kind of too weak, and I kind of regret my decision of replacing the Phantom Blade. Then again, it's for the long term, not for the general floors. For the general floors, and most boss encounters, at least half of them, the Phantom Blade is better, especially because you can pierce it through walls. Oh, Arcoris 4. Well, the job is to destroy one of them at a time. It's gonna be a little bit difficult with everything flying everywhere. And that's why I hate fighting the Arcoris series, especially with shorter ranged mechs. You saw what happened over there. They're just too random, and honestly, they're even more challenging than several boss fights. I would say they're even more difficult than the Warden encounters, if you get really unlucky, as you saw what happened over there. That's why I really don't like fighting them, because they're really dependent on what mech type you have, which contrasts with most of the other boss encounters. Let's hope I have enough life in order to complete this boss fight, otherwise that's gonna be really bad. I want to repeat my statement that that's why I feel like the Arcoris series is more difficult than most other boss fights in the game. It eclipses... This mini-boss encounter by itself eclipses several boss fights in total. Especially because of how random they can switch directions and how crazy their firing pattern can be. I can only imagine how much more of a nuisance and horrific pain they'll be on Misery Mode or Hard Mode. And I hope to never face him in that mode. But then again, knowing my luck, I will have to. Hopefully I'll be able to utilize some special weaponry or more long-range tools. And I'm going to ignore the condemned chamber down over there because I really don't want to feel like dying now. Also, where's the health restoration? It's being camouflaged by something. Okay, it was right over there. 14 out of 23. I'm kind of pushing it, but let's try our best. And hope we survive for long enough. Unfortunately, some of the backgrounds can be a little bit confusing of where things are solid or not. Okay, we're down over here. Let me pick up the excess missiles before I fight the boss. Mirror version 2. I fought version 1, I think. So time to fight the harder variation. And immediately take damage because that happened. How did I get hit over there though? I'm confused. I dodged that projectile and yet I got hit somewhere else. Oh, it's the bounce. Wait, what? Why am I pointing the other direction? For some reason I suddenly decided to point the other direction. Oh goody, he's following me around now. Phew, I did it. Even with all the projectiles there, this was still much easier than the Arcoris fight. But I still took a bunch of damage everywhere and... I'm not sure how long I'll be able to survive through floor 7. That's what I was talking about earlier of how our fortunes can reverse ourselves, if we're not careful. At the very least I got some new robotics companions. And we have a really long floor before we fight the boss. I'm gonna go for the major item storage first, then the health upgrade storage, then the robotics shop. Hopefully along the way I'll be able to pick up some extra lives. And I have to do a condemned chamber over there. This is gonna be something painful, but at the very least, none of these rooms is going to be difficult as Arcoris or Mirror version 2. Hopefully. Especially because I can restore all my energy shields per room. So that's definitely going to be a plus there.